I've been looking forward to this trip for so long. Nusa Penida is just off about half an hour, 40 minutes out of Sanur Harbour. We're in Sanur now, and you probably remember the boats launching, the fast boats that race across to there and the other islands. This is one of the places I came to when I first started coming back to Bali a few years ago, and it's just beautiful. It's a little bit like going back in time 20-30 years. The roads are diabolical. They're really rough and bumpy. They're talking about doing them up, but I don't think they got them done over COVID. And it's a tiny little village. Now there's slowly but surely the infrastructure is going in place, but it's changing quickly, and Nusa Penida in 10 years is going to be what Kuta was probably 30 years ago. So if you like that old school ancient style experience that people that came to Bali back when it all started up used to get, then Nusa Penida not only has some of the most amazing snorkeling and diving in the world. They've got the giant manta ray alley, they've got angel billabong, they've got all of these absolutely wonderful natural features like Kling Kling Beach, and I'm going to take you to all of those. But it's got this beautiful old world charm to it, and it's just off the coast. You can only just see it over there in the distance. It's not far away, and sometimes the water between here and there can get quite a little bit stirred up. So welcome to my little special, and there's going to be probably 2 or 3 videos on Nusa Penida, because each individual area is just so beautiful in its own right. So I'm going to do a bit of a compilation for Nusa Penida and give each of those areas all the attention they deserve. Hope you enjoy the trip. I'm so looking forward to it. It's actually my good partner's birthday tomorrow, so this is her little present of being able to bring her over here to Penida and have a look around. And I'm meeting up with a couple of friends over at the weekend, so they can take us to some locally known haunts. So it's pretty exciting. We're just getting the tickets organised for the ferry now, and you got to do a bit of a water wade to get through down to the boats. And it all starts pretty early in the morning here, so the first boats out are I think about 6:30, 7 o'clock. We've got the 8 o'clock ferry, and it's you got to be down here by 7:30 to get the 8 o'clock boat. Get ready, throw you on the boat, and they hoof you across there. It's a bit of an experience, especially if you got a bit of swell. So time for a quick breakfast. You know me, I got to have something in my hand. It's only a 2%er, but it's nice, yummy. It's a lemon radler, yummy. So, here we go. Look at this little fella. Hello, little boy. Also a birthday present. Come on, little puppy. They wanted to call him Chester. I said we can call him Chester on one condition: if his second name can be Gigolo. I'm Chester Gigolo, and everywhere I go. Oh look, I don't know how I come up with this stuff, but it just seems to be right. I hope you enjoy the trip. I'm really looking forward to it, and welcome to Nusa Penida. So the scramble to get over onto the island is a bit chaotic, but there's a whole heap of people here waiting early in the morning, and you've got to do a bit of a wade through some water to get into the boat. So you got to get wet to get here. Hi boss. Like I said. There we go. Yeah, boss. That's it, thank you. So the parking in Bali is pretty bad, but when you drive a boat, they drop the anchor way out here in the harbour, and then back it right in off a huge long rope. It gets quite swelly in here sometimes, and I guess they need that extra bounce, but they also use the rope to be able to pull the boat out so they can get far enough out, deep enough out, that the motors can go down and actually start to push us out. So it's quite a mission, but it's a bit of fun. There's these poles like a gondola, big bamboo poles, just to manoeuvre the boats. Now you can see the natural reef across here. Got a bit of a swell here, some small waves, a lot of boats out the back there waiting to come in and pick up their passengers for the day. All day these boats coming in and out for the harbour, going to some of the outer islands, Gili and Lombok and stuff like that. So there's a whole heap of boats, a whole heap of ferries, I guess, and millions of passengers coming through here. Well, maybe not millions at the moment, but thousands and thousands anyway. And nice to see. Nusa Penida is actually opening up as one of the most sought after destinations in Bali, and I'm really glad to be able to get across, because I haven't been there for about at least 2.5 to 3 years. So I'm dying to see if it's changed over the COVID break, because there was a lot of talk about them doing the roads up. Some of the islands over here have had external investors come in and really sort of do an amazing job on the highways and the roads on some of these smaller islands. But I believe that Penida is still a long way behind on the technology scale. But that's what I like about it, because it's really old world. And look, I can remember coming to Bali when the sewers were open at the side of the main street in Kuta and stuff like that, and maybe that's not quite as nice as you'd want it to be, but it certainly was a different Kuta to what it is today. And Penida, if you want to come to Bali and you like that old world stuff, you're not sort of right into the fancy modern hotels and the whole very schmick American style experience, well, this is the time to go to Penida before it gets tarnished by modernisation and technology. This is the time to come. In the next couple of years, I think you'll start to see some big changes to Nusa Penida, and it's a shame, because it's just spectacular as it is, as a little piece of history of little tiny fishing villages by the sea, temples all over the place, people fishing the way they did hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and that's personally what I came here for. I wanted to get away from the doof nightclubs and the craziness and the traffic. Now, having said that, the traffic to and from some of these attractions can get pretty bad, because there's a whole heap of tour operators trying to go straight across to Kling Kling Beach. That's the one with a long peninsula with the beautiful bright azure waters. But we're going to take a couple of scooters and we're going to go around at our own pace. And there's a lot of tours here. You can do a tour that just does the west side of Bali, of Penida, and then there's another tour that does the east side, and you can even do an east-west tour that does a bit of both. But you sort of have to be on the ball and skipping out on some of the fun parts. So we're going to take about 2.5 to 3 days to really explore Penida. I've never spent more than a couple of nights here, so it's going to be good just going back. We sort of know where we're going, but we did get lost a few times last time. That was the best part, I think. And I love travelling where you can't speak the language, but now I've got a couple of interpreters with me, so I'm probably a bit better off. But here we go. Say goodbye, Sanoa. We'll see you again on Sunday night. We're looking forward to the next couple of days. Look at these guys fishing in the channel. There's not much in the way of big high-rise apartments or even a lot of sort of high-end infrastructure. In fact, it's a lot more than when I first came here, and it's starting to to grow as we speak. A few resorts being built on the edges. There's a couple that have already been there and some houses up in the hills, but really it's very, very almost untouched. When you're looking up resorts on Nusa Penida, you don't get a lot of choice. There's not a lot of options, but it's slowly but surely starting to get more built up and more modernised. Tour.
Yeah, from Nusa Penida.
All over the place now. You can see my Bali activity and KW tours. A lot of people doing day trips, a few people doing overnighters, a few people come just to spend a couple of days here. It's a beautiful place just to take your time. I would definitely advise at least one night here and see the east coast on one day and the west coast on the other day. Just, you don't want to push it too much. It's really nice just to have a bit of time up your sleeve to stop, look around, see what you're doing.
Okay, Musa.
Let's do it, thank you.
So, you come there, over there, the scooter.
Okay. So the arrival process here, you got to get your boat over from Sanua. You got to get off that boat onto a little boat so it can bring you about 50 metres in off the shore. But hey, look, it seems to work. There's a lot of manual pushing and handling of these boats, and it's a bit of a throng when you get here. But it's quite a bustling little harbourside town here, and I'm glad to see old KW Tours is well represented here. What did I just say? So some nice little rooms and some, these are the waiting rooms, I guess, for the ferries. You get a snack. I'll tell you what, I just checked on my invisible watch. I'm pretty sure, yep, it is bintang o'clock. Okay. Yes, please. Berapa?
Good.
Bagus. That's much better.
Yeah, that's for you, Musa.
Yeah. My big tummy doesn't get up the hill.
Yeah.
Huh? You what?
Great.
Here. Have a sip. Happy holiday. Birthday holiday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we're sorted. We've got the official safety equipment that is required here in Penida, and I can check into the hotel by about 12 o'clock. So we've got the guy from KW Tours is going to take our luggage up there. He's organised us a couple of scooters, so we're good to go on our little ride. The puppy's had his breakfast. Jonathan's having his breakfast with a nasi kuning. So that's the story so far. Let's go exploring. So one thing to tell you about the roads here in Nusa Penida is they're really narrow. There's two-way traffic and there's huge drop-offs on the edges of some of these or potholes on the side of the road. So you really do, look, I would say if you're a first-time bike rider and you haven't ridden motorbikes for a good while, this isn't probably a good place to learn, because just around near the actual beach itself you're getting pushed off the road by cars, and we'll try and get some vision of that because it can be a little bit stressful, and there's some really rough and steep and windy roads. The last time I was here we saw a couple of young French girls that got missed a turn and ended up off the edge of the cliff, and they were very lucky that they didn't kill themselves. In fact, I think one of the girls had a broken leg. So be really careful. Just look, especially here, you're in the middle of nowhere, it's a little bit more remote and it's a little bit more primitive, but for those of you who do like to ride or who are confident and competent, check your bike before you take it. Go for a lap round or just have a really good look. I've just had to stop and pump the tyres of this one, but that's okay. That's a little minor adjustment. We're just going to take it easy anyway, but if you want a self-drive tour, this is probably one of the best places to do it, because once you've mastered these tricky corners and the uphill, you sort of do a bit of four-wheel driving with these things, but it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to keep going. Enjoy yourself and stay safe. Without doubt, one of the nicest things about having a self-drive holiday is you get to explore and just stop when you see something nice. Now, we haven't been travelling for long, but I just looked over to the coast as we went past this little place here called Nome Beach, and I'd love to show you these little beach chairs because they look great. The bar's awesome, nice undercover relaxing area here. Look at those little sun chairs. Okay. Where's that? How beautiful. You know, it's not quite fins, but I tell you what, for what you're getting over this side of the strait, it's bloody beautiful. Look at this. How beautiful is this? Should we have a pina colada?
You're weird. That is what you love.
Yeah, I do love my pina colada. I'll tell you another thing.
Especially on the beach.
Yeah, pina colada on the beach. Look at this. This is just lovely. Just lovely. Bit of cloud over the back there, but hopefully it's not going to do too much here. And we've got a nice little roof above us. And with an extra day up our sleeve, because we come over first thing this morning, got Jonathan off at half a day's school, and Fee had the day off because her school was closed for the day. So we thought, well, we might as well get away early in the morning, because that gives us a chance to spend a little bit more time just relaxing. It doesn't have to be hustle bustle and race around and do stuff. Being a YouTuber and a vlogger can be quite taxing at times. You've got deadlines, you've got a lot of editing and post-production to do. You've got to get out there, film the story, put it all together when you get back, and just organising the files and transferring from your memory cards across to your hard drives, across to your computer, doing the editing, clearing the drives off so you've got more room on the hard drive. I've got terabytes and terabytes of video storage. So it is a huge process, and it does cut in a lot to your personal life. It's quite, sometimes I'm editing till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning just so I can post those vlogs, especially the pub crawls and the evening activity ones, because people like to see them on a Saturday or Sunday morning, see what's a bit active and what's current, and I try as hard as I can to get them out as soon as I can. So he's gonna want that one. So just to have a day or two up my sleeve just to take a little bit extra time, stop where I feel, and just enjoy life. That's a bit of paradise for me. So that's why I want to just take my time and enjoy it. Are fun, but I tell you what, you don't want to have to get off the edge of the road because there's some really big potholes, or just oh, here comes the truck. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. You don't have a lot of room, and when a truck comes the other way, they don't have any room to go the other way either. And if you're on a bike, sorry pal, you're getting your way. Once again, Ketut's done an amazing job of sorting out all of our travel plans. We are staying in this beautiful little hotel, a villa, I guess. A nice pool. They've got the ocean right there. A beautiful air conditioning. We're on a top floor, so we get a bit more of a view. And it's quite a quaint little spot. It's just up the road from the village. It's one of the first villages markets I've ever been to, and it was there that I saw how generous my partner Phoebe is. She went over to a little old lady and handed her a kilo of rice and said, "You don't have to stay here selling fish all day, you can go home." And it was just such a beautiful, simple gesture, just to give someone a little bag of rice so she could go home and cook it up for her husband. And I went, wow, this is someone I need to get to know a bit better. And 4+ years later, here we are, back in the same village. That's quite bizarre. Back on Penida, back into a beautiful, beautiful little part of the world. It's such a quaint little village atmosphere. The streets, the shoulder of the single lane dual carriageways is pretty scary. I'll tell you what, if you had to go and take the shoulder on a bike, you want to pick your spot to go down, and if you had an oncoming vehicle on a bike, especially at night time, you just about want to come to a complete stop, because the shoulder of the concrete or the tar at the bottom and the dirt can be really big. Like, even in the car you'd be but some really massive potholes. There's a very, very narrow single, well, it's a 2-lane road. Put it this way, it's a single lane road. It's like a driveway with a dotted line down the middle, so you can pick what it is, but it's crazy. So look, it is not a good place for beginner riders, but if you experience, just take it easy. Check your bike out before you get them. I'm been lucky you can get a couple of good ones. I did stop and pump my tyres up because it was a little bit sloshy for my liking, but just look, appreciate the fact that you're stepping back in time. They don't have Radissons or Hiltons and stuff over here, not to my knowledge anyway. I certainly didn't when I was here last, but they do have some beautiful Bali style villas with amazing views. and there's lots of food, little spots around along the coast. And there's little warungs, there's traditional food and a lot of Western food. You can get a chicken schnitzel just about anywhere in Bali. Chicken is pretty much a staple protein, and seafood is very, very popular over here as well. And so you mix them up with a bit of nasi goreng, a bit of fried rice with seafood or chicken, and you can end up with a bloody nice meal. So I think we're just going to have a bit of a chill for now. When they say beachfront resort, they're not wrong. It's only a small resort, little villas, but the rooms are beautiful. We're staying in upstairs up there, and they've done like a traditional Balinese sort of shaped roof, bit of a log cabin on the inside. We've got a nice little pool here. It's not anything. Oh my god! Oh. He's having a ball. Oh, and I'm having a bintang. So it's the same thing. It's just there's just a few ages between balls and bintangs. Oh, look. Oh. We're going to go up to, if the weather's any good, we're just looking at those clouds at the moment. Beautiful blue skies up there. But on that side of where the clouds are at the moment, that side of Penida, that's where this beautiful place called Crystal Bay is, or Crystal Beach. I know one of them. And I've been here before, but it's just beautiful at sunset. Just trying to see if the weather's going to work in our favour. Because if you don't have a nice sunset, it's no point being there. It's a fair drive, and it's a lovely drive. But I've done it a couple of times now, so unless I get the chance to get down there, get a sunset and take the drone out, I probably won't go. Look, I'll try to be as fair as I can, and I've got to say I went out looking for some fish and chips or something a little bit nice for lunch. Now look, I like a lot of the Balinese spices and the flavours, but the cuisine doesn't necessarily agree with my tummy, and so I try to stick with some safe foods, and fish and chips or pasta or something like that is better for me than some of the local spices or some of the local produced food. So, and I love it. Look, I had some beautiful food the other night, and I've been uncomfortable almost ever since. So I sort of got to be careful what I eat. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are worried about the barley belly or stuff like that. It's not necessarily barley belly that sort of sets people off. It's just the different food types and the different cooking techniques and all that sort of stuff. It's just foreign to our tummy, and our gut bacteria are just not ready for the onslaught. So even though I've been here 10 months and I do eat quite a fair bit of local food, but not a lot, I have it regularly, and I have a bit here and a bit there, and I quite like it. Nearly always ends up with me being in a bathroom for a while, and several times. So I definitely try not to eat it when I'm travelling. Definitely never again when I'm about to go on an overnight train. You'll see that episode soon. Oh my God, look. We did a trip to Sumatra, and in a truck, and then came back in a coach and a train and a bus and everything else. And I've got a heap of episodes that I'm still waiting to get a chance to edit. So when they come up over Christmas, you're going to get a good laugh out of them, because they're pretty funny. But I found out a couple of things about going on a train. Number one, do not eat spicy food the night before going on an interstate or an overnight train, because over here there's no seat, there's nothing to sit on. There's a hole that goes down the railway tracks. And the floor is wet, so make sure you don't go in there bare feet. They tell me now. Yeah, and there's no. Here's the worst part: there's nothing to hang on to, so you're sort of perched over a hole trying to get your aim sorted out, and the train goes around a corner. I'll leave you to work out what the outcome was, but now I know why the floor's wet, because some poor bugger's got to wash it. Oh, it was me, I had to wash it. Oh, look. So, yeah, rule number one, if you're on an interstate or international, like an overnight train or something, don't walk around the toilets, or don't walk around without your jandals, your flip-flops, your thongs, your slippers, whatever. Especially if you go to the toilet, you don't need that. And secondly, just don't eat spicy foods. In fact, fast for about a week before going on one of these trains, because they're not pretty. And by the end of the journey, oh, look, even number ones is about a number 10. It's just, oh, there, oh. So, that's my advice for the day. Anyway, I've completely forgotten where we are, except I know I'm in paradise. I've got a beer. I'm in Nusa Penida. The food over here, that's where I was. Sorry. The food over here is a little bit limited. And I went to two places looking for fish and chips. One was a vegetarian place, which I've got nothing against vegetarian things, but vegetarian fish is my idea of a really nice dinner. So then I went around a corner to a place I've been before, and they did a fish and chips, which was battered tuna, but it was like little tuna, tuna chips, like French fries, and they were so dry that it was like eating tuna biltong or tuna beef jerky or something. It was horrible. The calamari they had was nice. You can get a really nice nasi goreng. You can get some Italian. Italian's quite a popular cuisine over here. They do a lot of pasta. Easy to get in Bali or around here. You'll get a pizza anyway, and a lot of them are wood-fired pizzas, so they're quite nice. Some of them are terrible. You'll get a lot of spaghetti carbonara and meatballs and a bit of lasagna every now and then. So you can get some what I would call comfort food. But hello, boss. But just a steak, unless you're going to a proper steak place, don't even buy a steak in a average sort of cafe or what wrong over here, because it's going to be like boot leather, or it's going to be overcooked. They really don't know how to treat a good steak. They catch tuna just off here. They don't know how to cook tuna either. Generally, the tuna I've always got over here is quite overly cooked. They don't do the old medium rare, sort of seared on external or whatever. But maybe I'm just fussy. Maybe I've just come from a different cuisine that's how we do it. But some of you are going to come over here and expect to have a nice dinner, and I'd be very careful about having tuna if you like a really good rare steak. I'd be really concerned about ordering a rare steak because you're going to get one that's medium well, and that's rare for them. But look, I had a calamari and a beer. That was enough. I'm a bit disappointed. I'm hoping I'm going to find a nice place between here and the Crystal Bay tonight, because I'm actually quite hungry. But the place is beautiful. It's still nice, sleepy little Nusa Penida. There's a heap of little people, little groups of people riding around on scooters. So there is a little bit more international tourism than when I came here the first couple of times. And that just adds a little bit more mayhem, but they're not in your way. It's just not like a deserted island like I remember it. And we've got a different microclimate compared to Bali, because we've got our own little mountain ranges here. It's not massive like they are over there, but you've sort of got a different sort of climate set. Blue skies on one side and a big heap of clouds in the middle. And it's just a lovely place to go and explore. It's a lovely place to kick back. Look, I know there's a million places that are just nice to just take your time and cruise around. And all I'm saying is this is one of them. And I've been coming here now for probably 5 years, and I just love it. I just love it. I love the rusticness. I love the imperfection of it. Just a bit like me, a bit imperfect, a bit of beer just to make it look good or bad. But it is old school too. It's a bit of old world charm, and they're trying hard to keep it nice. And look, this place has just been freshly painted. It looks lovely, and yeah, there's a bit of cracks on the floorboards or something, but I think they've done a bloody good job, because obviously this place has been shut down for the last couple of years, and I think they've only just opened it. So I'm loving it. I'm going to do a little bit of a piece on some of the special little accommodation places I've found in Nusa Penida, because this is a nice place. I'm going to find out the costs and everything, so I can give you a where to stay guide. And I know another little place just around the corner where I came back here about just before COVID. It was just beautiful, and they were individual bungalows with an infinity pool with the same sort of view, but a little bit further up the hills from here. So I might see if I can get up there this afternoon and go and have a look around. And other than that, I'm going to sit here, have a beer. I'm going to jump in the pool in a minute and cool off, and then I might go exploring again. Have a good one, guys.